go. I'm Bruce St. James. She's Pamela Hughes. He's Rob Hunter. And these are the stories everyone's talking about. We call it the playlist.
Track 1.
Well, the Occupy Wall Street protests have been going strong for about a month now in many cities, and the cities are getting tired of it. Tear gas has been used in Oakland, San Fran, Atlanta, even Providence are trying to get protesters out of the parks. L.A., Boston, and New York remain tolerant so far, but warn they can't stay in public parks forever. Listen, it's getting a bit colder outside. Fewer and fewer people are paying attention to them. And let's be honest with one another. The Occupy Wall Street movement is one blonde girl down a well away from being completely irrelevant.
We checked out the Occupy Phoenix protest. Yes, it's still going on. All three of them are still down there.
Both of them.
And they said that, they're afraid things are going to get tense when everybody starts showing up. And it might not be as peaceful as it has been. And I'm like, if they haven't shown up by now, they're not going to.
America, the nation of ADD. We cared about it for a couple of weeks. And now we're like,
next.
When's the Cosby Show rerun on?
Track 2.
All right, more polls and more good news for Mitt Romney. He now leads in all of the early primary voting states of Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Florida. Herman Cain is in second place, but behind by about 27 points in New Hampshire. Now, it's worth noting that up to a third of Republican voters have not made up their minds just yet.
I'm not necessarily happy about this, but it strikes me as a bit of a foregone conclusion, this whole Mitt Romney thing.
Well, that's kind of the sad part. We want change in America. We got a chance to do it and at least look at other candidates. At the end of the day, not going to happen.
Yeah, there was a Rocky Mountain poll that said if the election was actually held in Arizona today, Obama would win.
Would win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Track 3.
Speaking of attention deficit disorder that I brought up, you remember a couple of months ago we actually cared about the U.S. debt?
I remember
Yeah,
those
and then there was that
days.
deal that was struck, and the debt panel was created, and now nobody cares anymore.
Good
Well, they
times.
held a public meeting yesterday, and in it, they warned that the cuts that we're going to have to make as a country are going to be a lot tougher than we thought because mandatory spending's eating up almost all government revenues.
Doy.
Exactly. It's that mandatory spending. See, Congress figured out a long time ago that for pork and special interest spending to work best, you need to legislate it and make it law, guaranteeing it would never, ever go away.
They're debating pennies and nickels, which is the discretionary spending, when they really need to be debating the 20s and the 50s, which is the entitlement programs.
46% of us get one of those entitlement
Hey,
programs,
now.
so we're not going to ask them to cut those. That would mean we'd have to make some sacrifices. We don't even know what that word means anymore.
Track 4.
So the president said he wanted to help lessen the young people's student loan burden. He unveiled this new plan, but it won't save much money at the end of the day. The folks over at Atlantic Magazine crunched the numbers because I can't add. And on average, they say the savings will be less than $10 per month for students. Oh, and get this. Student loan debt is up 511% since 1999, while discretionary income is up only 73%. Why you gotta let facts get in the way of a good campaign promise? You know what? This is no fun at all. I got it, though. President Obama, free ice cream Fridays. Try that.
Oh, there you go.
Free ice cream for everybody.
Yeah, you know what? It's Halloween. I get it. But these campaign promises, because that's what they are, seem to be smoke and mirrors from the president. From all the way the mortgage refinancing now to the student loans. Come on now.
At least we're having a current conversation about it. That's going to be the debate, at least I hope, until our attention takes us elsewhere. Is the price of college actually worth it, especially what we're paying? Up 511% since 99? Tough to justify that. Squirrel!
Track 5.
Well, it's kind of a good news, bad news right now on the housing front. First, we'll go with the good news. Number of new homes sold in September was up year to year. Yeah, now the bad news.
Uh-oh.
Economists say we need to build about 400,000 new homes sales each month in order to get back up to healthy housing numbers. Now, the price of a new home, though, continues to fall, well, because there's lack of demand.
Lack of demand, oversupply. Oh, and there's all that tight lending going on out there, too. Gee, other than that, Miss Lincoln, how was the play?
Oh, man. Really? You went there?
I went there.
Yeah. Look, we got a long way to go, and these government programs that keep getting tossed around and we get told about are not doing any favors to anybody involved in housing.
Well, yeah, the reason why, the prices are falling is because home builders are deciding, hey, we're going to slash the price to at least move these homes rather than having them stay vacant. So somebody's still taking a hit here.
Track 6.
Sergeant First Class Christopher Domage was killed in Afghanistan last weekend during his 14th deployment in a war zone. He served
14.
4 deployments in Iraq, 9 in Afghanistan. Now, he's a member of the Rangers, and they typically serve shorter tours of duty, about 3 or 4 months at a time. But while they're there, they carry out about 400 to 500 missions during one deployment. Domage was 29 years old.
You know, for all the excitement over the end of the war in Iraq, these stories are almost daily coming out of Afghanistan, and I still can't figure out a good reason for them to stay.
Yeah, that's my question. Why are we still there, guys?
That aside from the fact, this says something more about the Rangers, I think, than anything else. Knowingly signing up for this, knowing you might go to 14 different deployments 3 or 4 months at a time, carrying out 500 missions a time. Amazing. This guy, 3 Bronze Stars, by the way.
Wow. All right, that is the playlist for the 9 o'clock hour. We do it at the bottom of each hour, 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30. It's the stories everyone's talking about. We put it together, and we call it the playlist.